2 times we asked you to predict the score of a Montreal Canadiens game. We said if you got it right, we'd give you $50. And none of you, we had a lot of comments, none of you got it right. Today, we're giving you another chance. We're coming back. We have to give it away. It's bleeding a hole into our pockets. We have to give away this $50. Nathan, what do they have to do this time?
Between the 2 weeks, we've had over 80 comments trying to guess the score, and not one of you could get it. But here we go again. First thing you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. Second, you got to be following us on whatever platform that you're watching this current video on. And third, you have to leave the score and winner of the upcoming Montreal versus Minnesota Wild game. So you, for example, you could comment 4-2 Habs. It's going to be the Habs that'll win. So that's all I got to say. It's 3 simple things. There's not much more to it. 50 Canadian dollars.
50 Canadian dollars. So whoever gets it, and if there's a tie, we'll figure out a tiebreaker because only one of you is taking home this money. So get your comments down and win this money. All right. I think that was good, Nathan. We'll jump right from there. We'll go right into the podcast. Listen, I would want to start off with other things. I don't know if you heard the news today. There was a news release today from the Montreal Canadiens. But before we get into it, I feel like this is a great opportunity to get into a Frozen Forum Flash. What do you think? Let's do it. All right. We'll start right at the beginning of the episode. Frozen Forum Flash. I've got 10 questions for you, Nathan. Again, these are coming right off the dome because work is great. And but I got them. I think I have a picture of what I want. So the first Frozen Forum Flash since December. 10 questions for you. 5 about the Habs, 5 about the rest of the NHL. We're going to start right now. And as I mentioned, there's a huge news release today. The Montreal Canadiens have signed Alex Texier to a 2-year extension with an average annual value of $2.5 million. What do you think of the deal, Nathan?
I like it. He just had to come back home, come back to the motherland, and he's been resonating with this team well. I mean, look at his past 2 weeks. I think he has 3-4 goals, a few multi-point games. Like, he is really fulfilling his role here. It's well deserved, and I hope all Habs fans are very happy to have this guy here for the next little bit.
I think we all are. I mean, he's been doing some great things, scoring some great goals. Speaking of goals, question number 2 for you. Noah Dobson moves from the second power play unit onto the first, taking Lane Hudson off the first unit. In his first shift on the first power play unit, Dobson lays a wrist shot straight into the back of the net and scores a goal. Should Noah Dobson be the PP1 quarterback?
Look, I really don't mind this idea, having a stronger offensive defenseman in that second power play unit. That can't hurt us at all. And if this is our sample size, just one power play or a few, and then in the first one he gets a goal, I have no complaints thus far. Mind you, we haven't seen too much of it, but yeah, I really do not mind Noah Dobson being there. And honestly, you can put Lane Hudson anywhere and he'll do just fine. So this is fine.
Nathan, question number 3 for you. It's a little personal note because I got a text last night and you were voicing some displeasure at a play. And I just wanted to ask you, what is so displeasing about last night's game-winning goal by the Washington Capitals?
Look, I watched the replay a few times. Slavkovsky was out of position. He was anticipating a breakout, which you cannot do. One of Washington's power lines are out there in overtime with 30 seconds to go. You gotta play defense in the defensive zone, and he was thinking too much offense, and he was looking for that puck to come around the boards, and it wasn't there. And honestly, if he had that defensive pressure anyways, he probably would have been the first man on the puck had it gone through. It was just a poor choice by Slav.
Poor choice by Slav. Lose the game in overtime. Speaking of losing games in overtime, the Montreal Canadiens have not lost in regulation still with Samuel Montembeault or Jakub Dobeš in the crease. Jacob Fowler has now lost 3 games in regulation in the same span since he's been called up. He's the only 3 regulation losses. And in 2 of those, the Montreal Canadiens did not score a single goal. Who in your mind today is the best goaltender on the Montreal Canadiens? And to go along with that, who out of the 3 goalies we have is the starting goaltender for game 1 of the playoffs in April?
That is a tough question, but currently, right now, gotta say, Montembeault has stepped it up. He's looking like his potential Olympian self in these past few games, and it's unfortunate that he didn't start the season this way because he would have had that Olympic spot if he had been playing like this. But right now, I would say Montembeault is the best goaltender on our team, and he will be the starter for game 1 in the playoffs.
And the starter for game 1, you heard it here. Question number 5. We're going to take a look at the standings. The Montreal Canadiens are in 3rd in the Atlantic, but they're in 2nd in terms of point percentage. Now, the Tampa Bay Lightning are on an 11-game winning streak, which seems like they're trying to make themselves untouchable. Where in this division will Montreal finish the year?
I was looking at this last night. Montreal is going to be first in the Atlantic, without a doubt in my mind. I don't even think this team has gotten anywhere near their peak for this season, let alone the next few seasons. The Canadiens are for sure winning the Atlantic. The East, that'll be tougher considering we have teams like Washington and Carolina there. But yeah, I could see this team winning the Atlantic. And what I was telling about looking at last night, they're plus 1,000
To win the Atlantic?
to win the Atlantic. I'm just saying.
Winning the Atlantic has to be equivalent to winning the East, right?
No, because
I mean, from our perspective, if we win the Atlantic, like I don't know, like how much faith you have in the Carolina Hurricanes. We're currently 1 point behind the Carolina Hurricanes. We've played the same number of games.
Look, Carolina.
If you're saying that we can get over Tampa Bay to win the Atlantic Division, surely that means we're also winning.
No, I still think Washington or Carolina will finish with more points than us.
I mean, Washington's 5 points behind us right now.
I think Washington is they're too good. And then when Logan Thompson is on, their forwards have been turning up too these past few games. So I think they're a super underdog.
Usually in these, we're not supposed to go back and forth, but I could not believe what my ears were hearing. We'll go into the other 5 questions. I've asked you 5 questions with the Habs. Let's ask you 5 questions about the rest of the league. We were just talking a little bit about the Washington Capitals. Now, the Washington Capitals have been criticized for many years, other than Logan Thompson, who's obviously their shining star, Mr. Olympia. The team's old. John Carlson's old. Alex Ovechkin is old. Why do you have so much faith in the Washington Capitals?
The team is old on average, but if you really look at the roster, half of them are like going to retire in a few years, and the other half are all young rookies. So they're all going to learn off of these vets. And I think this year, and like you look at guys like Ryan Leonard, who's one of the top rookies in the league. You look at Ethan Frank. He's been tearing it up the past few games. Like you have just young guys like that with a lot of talent. They're going to learn so much from these older guys. And I just think this team, the old guys are going to be feeding off the energy from the young guys, and the young guys are going to be learning from the old guys. I could see them making a run. They're going to be a dark horse this year.
We're going to go into question number 7. We're going to stay in the Atlantic, stay in the East for a question that is on everybody's mind right now. The Buffalo Sabres, from a points percentage perspective, are in the playoffs as the first wildcard team, not even the second. The first wildcard team, Buffalo Sabres, based on points percentage right now. Will the Buffalo Sabres finally make the playoffs?
Yes. I really, really, really want to see this team make it. They deserve it. The fans of Buffalo deserve this. They have been waiting legitimately over a decade for this to happen. And now they have a goaltender between the pipes in Alex Lyon. They pull up, I think, James Reimer. I don't know about that one. I don't know what they're doing there. But their forwards have looked unreal. Their defensive core has looked unreal. Man. And I am going to see Sabres Habs tomorrow night in Buffalo. And that's an underrated game. That's going to be the game of the night.
Game of the night. I mean, that game could set Buffalo on a path way back down the standings, or it could be the game if they win it. I mean, hopefully they don't, but if they win it, that could be the game that makes it so that they make the playoffs this year. Crazy. We're going to go into question number 8, I believe. For question number 8, this one is, I might be beating a dead horse. It's possible. The Pittsburgh Penguins are not in a playoff spot. You know my question.
Are they going to?
You know my question. Is he coming this year?
No, he is not coming this year. Look, they started too hot, and now that he in particular has this taste that this team can really do it. They can win. They can win. They can make the playoffs. As of now, they're not in a playoff spot, but hey, this team was so dominant for the first quarter of the season. What's stopping them from turning it around? Sidney Crosby will drive that team as hard as he can. That's what we were saying at the beginning of the season. The entire Eastern Conference is up for grabs. Any team could make it.
For sure, but in that kind of landscape, the price of assets is going to be so high that I can't imagine the Pittsburgh Penguins paying those prices. And if they don't pay those prices, they're not going to be the ones winning the second half of the season. Like, don't get me mistaken. We'll talk about this more. Question number 9. Let's flip over to the West for a second. The Colorado Avalanche lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs in overtime. It means they have 8 overtime losses in the year. I don't think anybody's trying to argue, they're still on that beating the Boston Bruins record that really is the Montreal Canadiens record, but whatever. Has Colorado taken a step back with these, 3 regulation losses in the last 19 games, or or are they still just super dominant? It's just the middle of the season. We need to chill.
No, they've definitely taken a step back. I mean, for them to lose 2 games in regulation through 35 games, their first 35 games of the season is unreal. That's just an unprecedented pace that they could not keep up with. So they've definitely taken a step back. But that's not to say that they're still the most dominant team in the league by far.
That's your take on it. All right. That race at the beginning had Connor McDavid in a very large race with Nathan McKinnon. And for question number 10, the last question of this Frozen Forum Flash, I want to ask you, who's winning the Art Ross this year? Is it Connor McDavid, or is Nathan McKinnon gonna rise back up and snatch it for himself?
I think it's got to be McDavid. What he's doing this year is unreal. He's on a 20 game point streak right now, and it is 45 games he's played this season, and he's already at 82 points. He's already at a point per game. He could screw off the rest of the year, but it's Connor McDavid. That's not going to happen. And this is his first Olympics. Look, the Olympics inject something into players that just makes them play better before and after. This guy's going to put up 170 points this year, which means even more points than what he's doing right now. He's going to do 170.
That's a lot of points, Nathan. That's a lot of points. Okay, let's start talking about some stuff, because my goodness, first of all, Pittsburgh Penguins, they couldn't beat a goaltender that was just called up from college, okay? That should tell you all you need to know.
What team?
The Montreal Canadiens. Listen, this Pittsburgh Penguins team, Kyle Dubas is not stupid, right? I think this actually opens up, because we're now in January. Trade deadline March 6th, right? We are in this stretch of time where the big teams are going to make their moves, right? We're getting to the point where people are trying to figure out where they're at. And I agree with you. The East is up for grabs. But I don't know if you'd agree with me, but I think that the team that's going to take the East, the team that's going to go out and do the biggest things within the division, is a team that makes the biggest moves between now and the trade deadline. In a world where the East is as close as it is, everybody's going to be trying to add something. Prices for things are going to be massive because there's no assets to go around. There's nobody to trade. There's nobody there's talks in the Monday night broadcast about Elias Pettersson getting moved, right? That's a trade chip. How many more are there? Not very many. So where, I just can't imagine Pittsburgh paying those prices.
How expensive it'll be to get Crosby?
No, it's not even about that. It's like the teams that make the playoffs are going to be the teams that make the moves. I really think that, right? Montreal might be an outlier because we've sort of already made our moves, right? We've called up Jacob Fowler. We've got Alexander Texier off of waivers or through the buyout process or whatever, right? We have a team that's full. Our additions are going to come from people not being injured anymore. For a lot of the other teams, Tampa's going to make a move. They always do. Detroit's going to do something. Carolina's going to do something. The Islanders are probably going to do something. Maybe. Washington's definitely doing something. Boston's going to try to do something if they're still up there. The Leafs have to do something because, oh my God, that team is bad sometimes. They've been good the last stretch, but I wouldn't trust it. If Buffalo's anywhere close, they should be trying as hell to get in, right? So all of these teams are going to be adding something. Do you think Pittsburgh's really going to come up and add a player to their team and pay the price that it's going to cost to add?
No, they're gonna rely on Crosby.
No, but if they rely on Crosby, right? Kyle Dubas is sitting up there. He's like, hey, I'm not going to buy anything. Then you're going to get a call, hey, ring, 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 ring. Chris Letang, is he on the table? I'll give you this. And if they're going to say something, Kyle Dubas can be like, holy shit, I could get a lot of assets for this guy. Because the buyer's market, it's a seller's market. When there's so many buyers, it's a seller's market.
We'll see, but I still just think this Crosby idea is too outrageous.
If you trade Chris Letang, you trade Evgeny Malkin, Crosby will leave. Crosby wants to win. If you say, nope, we're giving up, we're throwing in the basket, he'll say, yep, go ahead, send me to Montreal.
Those are too big ifs, so you really think Dubas would separate the three of them?
Look, I
feel like this is such a unique situation for them.
I think it is an extraordinarily unique situation, I agree. But this is what I'm going to say. I think from Dubas's perspective, right, you can't trade Crosby. You can't even bring up trading Crosby to Crosby. Now, if Crosby comes to you and says he wants to trade, you trade him. That's it, right? He's not going to do that, probably. Pittsburgh really takes a step back in the next few weeks. which could happen, by the way. The way the East is going, Pittsburgh's only, call it 2 points out of a playoff spot right now, realistically, from like a real games perspective. If they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, if the East is this close going into the trade deadline, you're just going to have so much pressure to sell if you're slightly out of that playoff picture, because all of the guys above you are going to pay way more for assets than you're willing to pay. And if all of them pick somebody up, right, you don't have a chance. Like Pittsburgh's in the race right now because nobody's bought anything, right? Because Buffalo hasn't gone out and got their trade deadline chip, and because Toronto hasn't got out and added their piece, and and Philly's not gone out, and Washington and New York and Carolina, like sure, we can say that it's like the top of the metro is untouchable for Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh's not getting close to Carolina, so that's not a worry for them. But you know what I mean? Like, all of these teams are going to go add something. They're going to pay a ridiculous amount of assets and whatever to get those pieces. Pittsburgh's not going to be willing to do that. They shouldn't be willing to do that because they're going to be out of a playoff spot. They're not going to be in a playoff spot by the trade deadline. And so even if they're marginally close, all of those teams above them are going to take this step because they get this extra player, and they're going to stay where they are. You're basically guaranteeing yourself that you're going to miss the playoffs.
Okay, say there's a scenario where Crosby is wanting to come to Montreal. What do we have to pay to get him?
Doesn't matter. To me, look, if Pittsburgh is actually trading Sidney Crosby, which, again, as you've covered multiple times on the podcast, is probably not that very likely. But if Crosby has a no-move clause, he's going to go where he wants to go. If he wants to come to Montreal, Montreal will make it work enough with Pittsburgh that they can do the trade, right? You look at the Brad Marchand deal last year, right? And you look at, everybody was like, oh my gosh, how do they only give up like a first and something else, right? It was like a super small deal. Brad Marchand had a no move. He said, I want to go play for Florida, right? When a player has a place they want to go, and that's why, again, we look back and, we had this conversation a while ago. When you look at the other teams that he might want to go to, would he want to go to Colorado? Yeah, probably. But the Colorado Avalanche don't have the trade capital that would allow Pittsburgh to go, okay, yeah, we're fine with that, right? They'd rather keep him. You know what I mean?
For Crosby.
Like, for Crosby, right? Montreal has draft picks galore. We have prospects galore. We have forwards galore. We have defensemen to a certain extent galore, right? I mean, we have on our roster, when everybody's healthy, like 14 guys that can realistically play in the NHL on our forward group, right? We have, and that's not counting all of the prospects that we have coming up, including Alexander Zarkovsky, including Michael Hage, including whatever else, right? Look, at the beginning of the season, if you asked me, would I trade Michael Hage for Sidney Crosby, I would have said no, because Michael Hage represented the future of our second line. Well, ship that idea out the window. Oliver Kapanen, we got to talk about this next. Oliver Kapanen is our second line center for the next, ideally 12, 13 years. Like, this kid is something. Would I trade Michael Hage now? Yeah. Did he just have a 15 point in 7 game World Juniors? Yeah. Would I trade him? Yeah. And that's the problem you get into when you have great draft picks, when you have a great team building mentality, right? We have this plethora, and Michael Hage is going to go on and be a great NHL player. I'd trade him for Sidney Crosby. Plus, I mean, that's on top of like whatever else you have to give, right? It's on top of the first round pick that you probably have to send them, and the whatever else, right? Like,
I like this. You're painting a picture in my mind. We should make the thumbnail of this episode just Sidney Crosby Habs. The Sidney Crosby with the Habs jersey on, like hoisting the cup or something. Oh my god!
You're going to stretch my picture editing capabilities, but yes, we'll see what Grok can come up with.
I'll use ChatGPT too, and we'll see which is
better.
I don't know. I that's the first time where I'm like, okay, this. What if they heard Michael Hage in trade? First time where I'm like, if I was in Pittsburgh shoes, maybe I would do that.
Now, listen. I will say the Michael Hage stuff. Like, Michael Hage grew up a Montreal Canadiens fan.
Sorry.
So
did Sidney Crosby though.
Hey,
so did Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby grew up as.
It's business. Don't get me wrong. It's business, but it would be nice, to have. I say that I would trade him for Sidney Crosby begrudgingly. Like, I really like Michael Hage's game. I thought he was fantastic at the World Juniors. I do not know how he doesn't get like one of the players of the game awards or whatever for Canada. He was not one of Canada's top players or whatever in the tournament, which is ridiculous. This guy put up 15 points in 7 games. He hit the crossbar and the post like 11 times. Like, I'm not even, like, I swear in those games, literally 11 times. I can't wait for this kid. But
yeah, he's gonna be a special addition to the Pittsburgh Penguins because true Hab, lifelong Habs fan, Sidney Crosby.
the lifelong.
He grew up a Habs fan.
Yeah, but lifelong means he still has been since he's been playing for Pittsburgh.
Maybe he just hasn't announced it in his interviews ever. It's always in his heart. When he grabbed the cup for the first time, he was always touching Rocket Richard first.
Let's go to Oliver Kapanen. Talk to me about Oliver Kapanen.
This guy is freaking gross, bro. Okay, if Matthew Schaefer wasn't a rookie this year, I would have Oliver Kapanen as my favorite for the Calder.
Over Demidov.
Yeah, I think he's outplaying Demidov.
A lot of people would disagree with you.
Recently, he is outplaying Demidov, like significantly outplaying Demidov. No, Demidov does have.
I mean, I will say, I think Oliver Kapanen's defensive game has been very impressive. Like take away all of the other stuff. That line, the Slafkovsky, Demidov, Kapanen line, has been really good. They've been really good.
I think it's been our top line. Like,
no, I 100%. I think over the last whatever stretch it is, like, that line has easily been like,
it's been like 40 or 50% of our goals, I swear.
Yeah, so 40 probably sounds right. I bet it's like 40 for that line, like 35 for the first line, and
the other 25 for the last two.
Oh, somewhere else, yeah. Galley scored last night, eh?
Yep. Man, I am Sabres Habs. Like, this is actually going to be such a blockbuster.
I'm there on the 31st, man. Like this is...
Me too.
This, oh man, I won't lie, I almost tried to get tickets for the Sens game on Saturday. And I was potentially going to drive to Ottawa Saturday and come back Sunday, which would have been ridiculous. But that got squashed. That idea got squashed.
Squashed by who? Squashed by what?
Just squashed. It was not a very practical idea, compounded on the fact that all of the people that I'm related to in Ottawa, I don't really talk with them very much. And I think it'd be really weird if I just called them this week and was like, hey, come to Ottawa Saturday. Can I crash at your place for like 8 hours and then drive back to like... Yeah, anyways.
Well, luckily, my uncle lives in Canada, and he lives 10 minutes from the Canadian Tire Center.
So I could stay with your uncle. That sounds great.
Yep, there you go.
I had an aunt that used to live really close, but she's moved into a retirement home now, so can't stay there. What were we talking about?
Oliver Kapanen. Yeah, he's looked unreal. Josh Anderson, I think, has been playing a lot better. This is the Josh Anderson we need. We need this guy to start heating up slowly but surely. He can take his time, and right when it's playoffs, and 2021. Josh Anderson back in full form.
Bam. Just like that.
Yeah, let's talk about these last few games with the Habs. When we recorded the last podcast, it was a Wednesday, and that was when the Habs beat the Flames 4-1. Since then, we've had 4 games, winning 2, losing 2, but getting a point in that Washington game. 5 points in 8 games. I mean, 5 out of 8 points. It's pretty solid. Keep that kind of pace up. We should be in the offs, but we need to keep that up.
Do you want to know a fun stat? Ivan Demidov, Uri Slafkovsky, and Oliver Kapanen line this season have played together for 28 games. Total time on ice, 241 minutes, which is second on the Montreal Canadiens, by the way. Only 2 minutes played to Cole Caulfield, Slafkovsky, and Suzuki. The Demidov, Slafkovsky, Kapanen line has a higher goals for percentage than the Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman line. And they've played 20 more minutes than that line has together.
That's real, because I swear McDavid has like 50%, contributes to like 50% of their goals.
Ivan Demidov, Uri Slafkovsky, and Oliver Kapanen right now, or this season, have produced 4.78 goals per 60 minutes. Like that, actually, this is a crazier stat. I was looking at goals for percentage. The goals for per 60, there is one line in the NHL that is better than the Demidov, Slafkovsky, and Kapanen line.
And it's the McKinnon whatever line.
McKinnon, Nietzsche's, and Lehkonen. And that line is disgusting. That line, 4.86 goals. We're only, our guys, this is a rounding error. It's 0.08 goals per 60 less than that McKinnon line. 7.8. So it rounds to 4.8 goals.
Are we really scoring that many goals a game? That's nuts.
That line per 60. So like that line might only be playing 15 minutes a game. But that means they're good for a goal and a little bit every game, which is ridiculous. because that's ridiculous.
When you have a line like that can be that reliable.
Keep in mind that this is only 5-on-5. Like this is we're not looking at like their individual efforts on the power play or whatever. This is 5-on-5 hockey.
I just can't wait to see these guys tomorrow night.
By the way, one more thing. Sorry, on this point. So 4.78, right? Lehkonen, Nietzsche's, McKinnon, 4.86. Okay. The next highest after us, 4.41.
Let me try and guess. It has to be.
Good luck. There's not a chance you get this one.
It's the Prizov line. What is it?
Gabriel Velarde, Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele.
Okay. That makes sense. They do, like, whenever the Jets score, it's always them. So
And the line after that is the McDavid line, and that line is 4.07. So it goes 4.9. I'm going to round to single decimals. 4.9, 4.8, 4.4, 4.1. Worse second on that list. And this is before, like, you have to think that the goals against per 60 for that line right now are heavily influenced by the first few games that they were together. Because when they were together at the beginning, Slavkovsky's game wasn't very good. And the defensive aspect of that line wasn't very good. So I would have to imagine that the defensive side of things is like going to start coming together. Wait. Goals plus or minus? Goals plus minus. Like if you take the goals per 60 and you take the goals against per 60 and you net the two numbers, we're third.
that line is third.
That line is third.
And surely, again, it's like McKinnon.
McKinnon is higher than us. And then the one that's at the top is Eriksson Ek, Marcus Johansson, and Matt Boldy.
Okay.
But that's because that line has 0.7 goals against per 60, which is crazy. And they score 4.04 goals per game. So not only do they score almost at the McDavid line's pace, they let in one and a bit less goals than the Connor McDavid line.
Yeah, it's tough for Connor McDavid when he has those guys between the pipes. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do,
Connor McDavid? Like, come to Montreal? I mean, it's an option. You could come to Montreal.
Well, he could have, and then he signed a freaking extension. Like, I don't know what this guy's doing. Like, does he want to win or does he not want to win?
In 2 years.
You know what's crazy? His contract ended after this season, right? If he wouldn't have signed, right, came to Montreal traded for Sidney Crosby during this season, which, by the way, we would have cap space to do. We would be able to fit this. The Montreal Canadiens next season could have been this exact Habs team, but with Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby on it.
That's just insane.
Like, this is why, to all of you NHL players out there, don't sign extensions. There's no reason to, especially 2-year extensions. You can sign a 2-year extension after the season.
Sidney Crosby and McDavid.
Could you imagine?
We would win.
We would sweep 4 series in a row. I don't know how you don't. That would be like, think about this. That Slavkovsky line would literally be the third line on our team. Because you would put McDavid, surely you would put McDavid with Crosby
on our first line and then have
the Suzuki Caulfield line second. And you have the Demidov, like maybe you split up. Actually, you know what you probably do? Actually, this is what you definitely do. It's definitely Crosby, Suzuki,
McDavid. What are they going to do? What are they going to do against that? You can't do anything.
Imagine having that, and then the very next line comes out is still the Slavkovsky line that's scoring 4.78 goals per game, and then you still have Caulfield somewhere in this team.
Oh, we're clipping this.
Man.
Caulfield on the third line.
I don't even know, man. I don't think we have enough room. This is like an Olympic team. This is like basically Team Canada.
Well, if it's Team USA, then Caulfield can't be on the team, so.
No, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you really think about this, Matheson, Dobson are probably on the call-up list for Team Canada for defensemen. Hudson's on the call-up list for Team USA.
Or Jack He's on the call-up list for Team Canada. No, you have Caden Gooley, who in a few years.
Don't even worry about the defensemen, honestly, at this point. But like I'm saying you've got like 3 potentially Olympic caliber or like Olympic conversation caliber defensemen. Then you have the best player in the world. You have Sidney Crosby. You have Nick Suzuki. You have Cole Caulfield, who's definitely on the bubble of a Team USA, right? You got Juraj Slavkovsky, who's going to be like the captain of Team Slovakia or something like that.
You've got Oliver Kapanen. You've got Ivan Demidov. Bro, okay, we can touch on this later. Keep going.
Like what are you going to do? Like, you're literally like half your team's going to the Olympics.
It's just Crosby and McDavid on the Habs. This is getting clipped right here.
It could have happened, but now it can't happen because McDavid signed a 2-year deal.
It still could happen. No, I can't.
I mean, the only way it can happen, listen, the only way it can happen is if McDavid said when he signed that 2-year deal that if at the end of the season he wants to get traded, that he'll get traded. And if that was the handshake agreement in the back room to say, if I'm asking for a trade, I'm not going to play a single game until you trade me. You're going to have the easiest contract to trade in the league at $12.5 million for a Connor McDavid, right? So you can recoup as many assets as you want, but I'll decide after this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he said that. That'd be a really smart thing to do, to be honest. Because what are those Edmonton Oilers doing right now? They're in a playoff spot, but
all right, let's go on a little side note here. Speaking of the Olympics, I just want to say whoever wins the Olympics this year will not have the greatest hockey country, even if they win gold. Team Russia, if there was a Team Russia, that team is so well-rounded. Their goaltenders, unreal. Their defenders, nobody's getting past them. Huh?
Who centers?
No, you can choose. You have Kaprizov, you have Ovechkin, you have...
Those are wingers.
Who cares? One of them could be a centerman.
They're
You have a Demidov, Kucherov.
He's a winger. He's a winger too.
Look, Kucherov is good enough to be a centerman.
He's a winger.
Look, all I'm saying is Team Russia would be deep with wingers.
No centers.
That's fine. That's fine. Some of them will transition to be centermen.
Listen, it would be really nice to have a Team Russia in the Olympics because you would see how bad Team Russia would be because there are no centers on that team. And you need centers on a hockey team. You would literally have all of these NHL quality wingers. And you have some Bogdan Kostenov from the KHL playing center on the first line, right? Because there'd be nobody else to play. Look, Russia has a big problem there, actually. Russia does not have centermen that make the NHL.
This is true, but I still just think they're way too deep with NHL caliber wingers that could easily be centermen.
Yeah, but like, I mean, even like compare it face up. Like show me any single position on Team Russia that is better than the best on Team Canada or USA. Kaprizov is not better than our best winger.
Kucherov is.
He's definitely not. But Connor McDavid is a winger on our team.
Okay, yeah, on the Team Canada team, yes.
That's what I mean. Like, give me okay,
this
is the
Connor
problem.
Connor McDavid's an outlier. We're not counting Connor McDavid.
Well, Connor McDavid actually might be a center. I might be wrong. One of them, like Sidney Crosby is like I would take Sidney Crosby over Nikita Kucherov.
Right now, I think Kucherov might be a bit better. But all I'm saying is Team Russia would have a very competitive team, if not one of the best teams.
Well, they'd have a top 3 team for sure. Canada, US, Russia. That's how it would be.
US are frauds, man. They're going to lose to...
The US is not frauds. That is a deep team.
They're going to lose to Czechia, man.
I wish. That's what we do.
But other Olympic notes. So, I don't know if you saw this, but there was an exhibition game played on the Milan ice last week, and middle of the game, there was a hole in the center of the ice in front of the net. Mind you, this is a week or a month before the Olympics. I don't know if you've seen other photos that came on the internet this week of the locker room situation. Right now, there are just cement walls everywhere, no benches, nothing. The ground is all cement. The ceilings aren't even finished. There's just wooden planks going everywhere. This is going to be the equivalent of a rink in, I don't know, Rankin Inlet.
Don't worry about it. Why you worry so much? Don't worry about it. Eat some pasta and you don't worry. That's what's happening down there.
Tonnerello. Mamma mia, just give me the pizza. That's all.
Yeah, I had to get into my, you know, yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
I had to get into the mood, you know? Yeah. Don't worry about it. Like, why are you so worried so much?
At first, you sounded like you were from New York, and then you transitioned to Italy.
Like, a lot of my Italian accent is inspired by New York Italians.
Makes sense, then.
Because that's how they sound. I hear a bunch of them on Instagram on my reels, you know, because they're...
just like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah. Also heavily influenced by Italian mob culture in movies and TV shows and stuff. And that's all in New York and stuff, right? So
what else we got to comment on this week?
Man, like
Macklin Celebrini. I think we just have to say his name once. Like, this guy's third in the league in points, and he's...
Yo, this kid is actually like...
He's the next Crosby. He was Gretzky, then was Crosby. All right, buddy.
And then
okay, McDavid and then Macklin. McDavid and Macklin.
David and Macklin. Man, good thing he's on the team.
Very good thing.
What else have you been following? What else is going on in the NHL even? Like, I don't even know, man. Like,
the Winnipeg Jets, I think, got their first win in like 14 games or something.
My God, they're on a 3-game winning streak, and they're still 8 points out of a playoff spot.
The Jets, man. But I wouldn't be surprised if they turned on the Jets and found their second year
I
and
don't
see
know.
a late season push. Late season push. That Western Conference, we say the East is wide open, but the West has those wildcard spots are completely up for grabs. Obviously, because there's still 40 games left, but Jets just turn it on and they can be there.
Let me look at something here. Okay. I want to go down the list, okay? I've got some players' names for you. I had some players' names for you.
The Senators are beating the Rangers 4-0.
Yeah, it's fraud team, bro. New York Rangers. We'll trade everybody. No, we'll do them next, actually. I want to go down the list here of the Vancouver Canucks. I want you to say tradable or not tradable, okay? You've got Elias Pettersson, 5 years, 11.6. Tradable or not tradable?
It's not tradable.
You don't think so? Would you trade for him? If in some magical universe we had the right trade chips and all that kind of stuff, 27-year-old center, left shot, Elias Pettersson, would you trade for him?
I would trade for him, but he's going to be an expensive trade. Like, that's a deal where you got to give up first-round picks and Michael Hage and some other guy.
Okay. Worth it?
Look, I know that Pettersson and JT Miller had locker room issues, whatever, but I don't actually know who was causing it or if it was like a both party kind of thing. Was it Miller? Exactly. So I don't know. That's a bit of a risk because our locker room right now is amazing.
I don't think strong locker rooms come apart when somebody who's bad for the locker room comes in. I think it's the opposite. I think if the locker room is bad, then no matter what you bring in, it's not going to become good, right? You just have to get rid of the bad. I think if you got a good locker room, you got a player who's obviously not in a good place right now. And I mean, you just traded Quinn Hughes. Like, I could see it. Let's go down the list. Brock Besser, 7.25 for the next 5.
He's tradable.
6. Tradable. Jake DeBrusk.
Definitely tradable.
Evander Kane.
Yeah, he's tradable, but he's going to go like 4th line on some team.
Marco Rossi you wouldn't trade because he's an RFA. Connor Garland just signed an extension.
Probably not.
Niels Höglander.
Sneaky, but yes, tradable.
Go Drew O'Connor.
Think he was on the Penguins last season. I don't know.
Kiefer Sherwood.
I'm going to say not tradable though, because I just don't see the Canucks getting rid of him.
He's 30 years old. He's a UFA at the end of the season.
Well, then I guess he's tradable.
David Kampf comes back to Toronto, maybe. I think the rest of them are not useful to talk about. We'll go defense. They don't have defensemen. Philip Hronik is their... Wow, they're playing Philip Hronik $7.25 million a year. That's a big contract. Pay Marcus Pettersson 5.5. Other than that, they don't really have any. Let's do the Rangers next. That's actually a really fun. Rangers. Where are they in the standings, by the way? They're at the bottom, right? Yeah. Last in the Eastern Conference. We're going to do this for the last place team in both conferences. We just did Vancouver. Let's go to the New York Rangers. A 3-game losing streak, about to lose their 4th to the 3rd last in the East, Ottawa Senators, who, by the way, that's the thing we haven't talked about. Is it true? Is it not true? We'll find out in just a few minutes. Before we do that, though, the New York Rangers. Artemi Panarin is at UFA after this season.
He is tradable, but I don't think the Rangers will get rid of him.
I think you're wrong. If there's I'd like a prediction market on this. Yeah, does a Poly Market have a Panarin going to be traded market?
Probably does. Has everything.
Wait, actually check that. Let me see.
I don't have that much time left, FYI.
I don't either. No market or Artemi, not on here. Who do you think is the Hart favorite right now, by the way?
I honestly don't know.
Well, it's one of 2 people, right?
Yeah. No, 3.
It is actually a 3-person race right now.
I don't know. That's way too tight. I would say, honestly, McDavid's probably 3rd in that race. And I'd say it's between Macklin and McKinnon. And if I had to pick a favorite right now, I would say McKinnon.
McKinnon is at 74%. Who do you think's the favorite to win the Selke?
Selke is the
best defensive forward.
Kucherov. Who's the favorite?
That's just a bad take, man. That's just a bad take.
Suzuki
is the favorite. 39%. Everybody else is less than that. What do you think the Colorado Avalanche's odds of winning the Stanley Cup are?
I hope it's no lower than plus 400.
It's 23%. So 1 in 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. That cuts out.
Ivan Demidov, by the way, 16% of the Calder.
Schaefer's playing too well, man. This guy's gonna have a 20-goal campaign in his first year as a defenseman.
I mean, he's only got 30 points. How many more points does Demidov have to put up than him to be in the conversation more? Like, he's right now at like 9 points ahead of Schaefer. If he finishes the season 20 points ahead of Schaefer, you're still giving it to Schaefer?
Yes.
Really? We'll see. We'll see.
The same reason Lane Hudson won it over.
No, because Lane Hudson was not the favorite until the end of the season. And he was only the favorite at the end of the season because he had more points than Macklin Celebrini did. Although Lane Hudson was not playing excellent defensive hockey while simultaneously scoring goals. He was just putting up assists. Well, I'll give you that. There's a slight difference there, but I'm partial. What can I say?
Yeah, fair enough. All right, what else do we got to cover in these last? What does our upcoming schedule look like?
Yeah, what does it look like?
For these.
Before that, just quickly, is it true?
I think it must be, because there's no way. That's way too specific for anyone to make up.
Way too specific.
And then a good point that one of our friends pointed out is that Allmark does have a history of mental health issues, so that could influence it.
How does that make it more plausible? If anything, it makes it less plausible.
No, it makes it more plausible that he would have said that to his wife, and then his wife alerted it.
How do those two things go together? Let's not say this live on air before one of us gets canceled. Let's
all right, these next few games. Okay, so if we record again next Wednesday, we have 4 games before then. The first one is in Buffalo tomorrow night. Your boy will be there. I'll get some content for the Instagram. Next is in Sensland. We're going to Ottawa on Saturday. And then we're coming back home for a little 2-gamer at home. We're playing the Minnesota Wild, and then we're playing, again, the Buffalo Sabres.
But the Buffalo Sabres game is on Thursday. So if we record next Wednesday, there's only the 3 games.
That is true. We have 3 games until next Wednesday. So the goal is 6 points. See what happens. See what the boys can do for us.
Put those comments down in the comment section. That Minnesota Wild game is the Minnesota Wild game that you need to guess the score of. If you guess the score correctly, you win money. It's as simple as that. Just get it right. And it's free. It's not even like gambling because you don't have to put any money down. It's like you just got to follow us. You know what that is? Free. Free to do. Drop that follow. Drop that subscription. Get in there. Drop the comments. Win the money.
That's it. That's how we do, baby. To all of you watching the episode right now, we appreciate all of you that have made it to this point.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Alex's mom. Thanks for making it to this point in the episode. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you hit that bell notification. You leave a like, you leave a comment. It really helps the algorithm. It really helps us grow. And we've seen it a lot over these past few weeks, and that's thanks to you guys helping us out. Make sure that you also follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, any platform you can think of, we are on it. Just make sure that you follow us there, leave a like and comment there as well. It helps us grow and helps us do more of these giveaways for you guys. And with that being said, we will catch you next week. Au revoir et bonne soirée.